I summoned an Epic-tier humanoid succubus and thought I hit the jackpot. This ungrateful creature saw how poor I am and rejected the contract in an instant. He's got a high IQ. She realized right away that a broke loser like me had no future and couldn't take care of her. She shamelessly sold me out right there and set her sights on a rich snob. But there's one little detail this idiot doesn't know. I possess a divine ability that changes destiny. I can see the entire evolutionary tree of any creature in the smallest detail. Even if it's just a worm, with my training, it can turn into a monster that devours the world. No one in this world sees a creature's potential as clearly as I do. He can't know the training plan to the letter. Before I could even get over the shock, someone from the crowd already stepped up to claim my succubus. The guy is literally bargaining like he's at a livestock market. He's shamelessly trying to seize my epic beast for his son. The speaker is Marcus Chin, head of the city's largest merchant guild. I saw through your intent right away, of course. He relies on his strength to try and seize my monster by force. The professor next to us quickly stepped in and reminded us of the law. No one can touch the summoned beast without the master's consent. So as long as I say no, they won't get a thing. I'm a bit relieved with the professor's support. I was about to refuse, but Marcus Chin kept that disgusting, smug grin on his face. He calmly raised his finger, as if he had been waiting for this answer. 10 million. This money is more than enough to buy a high-level monster and live like a king. Feeding a beast in Destanza requires a fortune, after all. He's implying I should drop the pride, take the money, and step aside. Anyone else might tremble at the sight of money, but I'm just laughing inside. Is this a joke? Thanks to the system, I can see this girl's future. He is a god who will reach legendary status in the future. 10 million isn't worth a single feather of his. I was just about to open my mouth and firmly refuse. The succubus suddenly cut in. She found the man's offer quite logical. I froze right where I stood. I turned my head and looked at him in terror. At that moment, the altar area is silent. A deathly silence prevails. With all three pairs of eyes staring at her in shock, the succubus looks slightly embarrassed, but she sneakily edges away from me toward that rich guy. This is pure betrayal. I was thunderstruck. A beast betraying its master is as absurd as the sun rising in the west. Think for the monsters. The summoner is like a parent who gives them life. Most monsters prefer to die in battle, but they will never betray their masters. But this is a succubus. I fixed my eyes on him. That innocent-looking face now looks like nothing but a disgusting mask to me. It's nothing but pure calculation and greed. But a second later, I started laughing. Maybe this is a blessing, huh? Defusing a time bomb like this now is better than being stabbed in the back later. So what if it's epic? My golden touch can turn any kind of trash into diamonds. Even an ordinary creature can reach the top in my hands. It's just a matter of time. After all, I doubled the price and sold the girl for 20 million. I need to find a new beast immediately to make it for the exam in 10 days. With the taste of betrayal still lingering, I left them at the altar and headed alone to the city's largest monster market. This is the hub for all loot from the dimensional gates. We have everything from rare materials to refining potions. I stood at the grand entrance of the massive building and looked up. The building rises like a 5-story pyramid, each level with its own quality. Their rank is common, elite, superior, epic, and legendary. The top floor is for show, of course, completely empty. They only put out rare pieces every now and then to show off. I didn't waste time with the losers on the ground floor and headed straight to the 3rd floor. In the place with high-grade monsters, dozens of creatures are crammed into energy cages in the grand hall. As my gaze drifts over those detailed stats and the labeled, sky-high prices, the damn system automatically throws status panels in my face like a supermarket catalog. The price of these beasts ranges from $500,000 to $1 million, but the quality. A total disappointment. They're not bad, but they can't even compare to the potential of that trader succubus. The gap is massive. With 20 million cash in hand, I need to aim higher. I turned to the clerk and asked if there was any other stock. The guy just shut it down, saying what's in the window is all they have left. I was about to turn and leave in utter despair when the officer suddenly called out to me. With a mysterious look, he hinted there's one more place I haven't checked. I turned so fast the guy jumped back in fear. The seller smirked shamelessly, saying only new items are in the window while the rest rot in the junkyard out back. and she has the nerve to kill my excitement. Turns out the ones in the back were defective goods nobody would look at. Hearing these words, that tiny spark of hope inside of me just fades away. Looks like we're officially going to be matchmaking. The odds of finding something useful in that scrap are the same as me winning the lottery, but since we're here, let's take a look. Hesitating, I head toward the back storage. The guy is shouting from behind. Hurry up, we're putting them in the oven to burn soon. The warehouse is like a total horror movie set. In the corner, a silver-haired girl is curled up in a fetal position, trembling and weary of life. Strange creatures around him, abandoned to their fate like him, are silently waiting for their time to die. These are losers no one has picked for a year, and time's up. Metal door creaks open, and an executioner-like guard bursts in. Today is monster summoning day in the city, but for these losers, it's doomsday. They'll all be sausages soon. Lonko isn't working out of the goodness of his heart, of course. 1 year of feeding them is enough. Now they'll tear them apart and sell them for parts. When the guard enters, the poor things cower in fear, but that silver-haired girl in the corner. See, that's practically screaming. I'm right here. The moment she lifts her head, those silver locks fall like a waterfall, instantly changing the mood. Her face is like a baby's, her eyes are amber stones. It's like an angel cast out of heaven who accidentally fell into this dump. Even the attendant looks at the girl and sighs. When this epic high quality landed in the City of Angels a year ago, people went wild for it. But by a twist of fate, the girl's birth defect made her even more worthless than an ordinary stray cat. It can't level up with a contract, so it's a total piece of junk. Just as the officer is about to take it for disposal, I enter the scene. Loud, clattering footsteps from afar, and bam. I burst into the room, lungs collapsed, soaked in sweat. I ran through a labyrinth in this damn flea market for half an hour to find the room. I almost missed it. My eyes scan the room like radar and lock onto that silver-haired beauty instantly. The system panel snaps open. My pupils are dilating. Right in front of me stands a 9-star epic monster, the most solid character I've ever seen. It's almost legendary. Normally you get 2 skills, but this girl has 3. She's basically a cheat character. But when I look at your back, I get it. Those cool wings that should be there are missing, just a flat back, a total disappointment. No one would even look at it for that reason, but the system does its thing and shoves the repair list at me. Angel Feather, Star Essence, and Spirit Stone. Lucky for us, the shop has them all. My heart is pounding like it's gonna pop out, can't miss this chance. This is exactly what I was looking for. The moment I heal his wounds, he'll have the potential to crush that annoying Sukukubusu. I take a deep breath, walk up to the clerk with style, and tell him I want to buy that angel. The clerk's in shock. He can't believe I'm picking items from a scrapyard. He looks at me with eyes asking if I'm sure. I ask for the price and the guy just rubs his hands and squirms nervously. The loser doesn't even have the authority. He calls his boss immediately, and the answer comes right away. I could just pay 10,000 credits and take this nuisance away. Even with defects, it's epic quality. I'm getting it for dirt cheap and closing the deal right now. We head to the contract room. Leora stands with her shoulders trembling, silver hair covering her face, looking straight out of a depression music video. The poor girl looks at me and asks if I really want a reject like her, clutching her clothes with her hands. She's biting her lip, those gorgeous amber eyes are welling up, she's about to cry, a total drama queen. He says he's incomplete and can't sign a contract with me, then bursts into tears like a kicked puppy. As I'm preparing, I look up and see her a complete mess, crying her eyes out, and I realize I've totally bypassed the emotion. I tell her not hobbies to put herself down and that she's actually a beast, but who cares? I'm trying to pump her up by looking in her eyes, but Leora's having a breakdown, covering her face in emotional collapse. They're whining because they can't level up, so I act all cocky and go, I got this, I'll handle it. Leora freezes all of a sudden, looking at me with tearful eyes. He's wondering if my confidence is well-founded. I point to the calendar and remind myself there's 10 days left, and now I'm not stupid enough to throw my future away. Right at that moment, the door rings and the supplies I ordered arrive. I sank my entire fortune of 20 million credits into these. Ingredients are ready, do you want to try? The little angel starts shaking with excitement, heart fluttering. The odds of recovery are slim, but there's still a glimmer of hope. He gets pumped up under my confident gaze. Leora does what I say, puts the ingredients on his wound and boom. A rich purple light bursts from the wound. This light is so intense, It seems even darker and more powerful than when I summoned that damn succubus. A blinding golden shimmer creeps into that eerie purple light, hardening over Sunan, looking as if it might swallow the room whole. What on earth is this? My brain froze, and my pupils shrank to the size of pinpoints. That gold spreads everywhere like a wildfire. Gold? Legendary quality? No way, seriously? Your breath caught in my throat. The system's crappy materials were only for healing the wound. So Leora's wound was actually a shackle limiting her potential? With crazy questions spinning in my head, the golden light completely took over the room. Pure white wings burst from the wound on Leora's back. White as snow, spotless and pure. The wings slowly close around the girl, forming a massive cocoon of light. It's a visual feast. An invisible energy wave suddenly erupts, tearing through the roof and piercing the sky like a spear. Back at the city lord's manor, Lord Xavier sprawls in his expensive chair, tapping his cup rhythmically and savoring a rare moment of peace. Since there's no dimensional rift invasion, even the tea tastes different to the gentleman. But a second later, that porcelain cup slips through her fingers and shatters on the floor. Xavier doesn't even care about the broken cup. His eyes widen in shock as he springs up like a bow and presses against the window. He just felt that massive dark aura descend from the sky, wrapping all of Len Yuan City like a shroud. That sacred and imposing being was like a god's gaze, but it vanished instantly. Someone get over here, quick. Evier's voice sounds shrill and full of panic. Investigate all nearby dimensional rifts at once. Just call me Emre. Trembling with fear, the guard takes the order and runs off. Xaverin's brows are knotted with worry. There are only two possibilities that could cause such a celestial event. Either a dimensional rift barrier loosened and a terrible entity's aura leaked out. Or a monster of legendary quality was born. But is it a legendary monster? No way, impossible. Evier gives a bitter laugh and immediately tosses the second option aside. Poor man. In a border town like Lin Yuan, even epic monsters are a blessing, so who would lose a legendary one for us to find? But what he doesn't know is that, in the monster market's contract room, I'm staring at the screen in total shock. My throat is so dry I can't even swallow. Legendary level? It actually worked. I take a deep breath, trying to calm my heart that feels like it's about to jump out of my chest. There's a world of difference between legendary and epic. But then, a cold drench of doubt hits my brain. Would a legendary angel really deign to be my monster? I've just tasted the betrayal of that damn water orb, my trust is at rock bottom. But at that moment, a silver-white silhouette suddenly drops to one knee, respectfully folding its wings as light dust scatters around. Under the lamp, Leora looks up, a pure determination shining in those amber eyes. Holy Angel Leora requests to be your monster. When that steady voice echoes in my ears, a strange, comforting feeling wakes inside me. Right, so not every monster in this world is as heartless and ungrateful as that water cube. I reach my hand out slowly. Leora, I'll let you be my first monster. By the time we finalized the deal, left that damn market, and got back home, it was already dark. I push the door open, and there's that familiar silhouette that freezes me in my tracks. The one who has me pinned to the spot. Kiana? Turning to the sound, the green ponytail traces a cool arc in the air. Etten, are you back? Come and eat. Ever since Kiana entered that fancy National Guard Academy, it's been impossible to see her. Kiana, what are you talking about? Why did you come back? She took a job in the city and figured she'd stop by while passing through. His eyes drift to Leora, sitting as straight as a string with her hands on her knees like a well-behaved child. Our little angel is so nervous, she's sitting like a soldier. Hearing Kiana's question, he suddenly gives a 90-degree bow of respect.
Yep.
He slams his head onto the table like, bam. Hi, sis. Kiana is surprised at first, then bursts out laughing at this silly reaction. No need to be formal, we're family now, dear. Only then does Leora look up, her face red as a tomato, nodding her head like a chick waiting for food. But before long, Kiana's face turns into a stone-cold mask. Ethan, don't miss that chance at the rookie tryouts tomorrow. The army has isolated the safe zones, where monsters are level 5 at most. This is a godsend for rookies, and you can only take this exam once. This is the only perk the army offers you. I nodded silently. When entering a real dimensional rift, even commander-level monster masters can end up dead. This world ranges from awakening, transcendent, commander, to monarch, no joke. A massive hierarchy with power levels split into 10 different sublayers, and I'm at the awakening level at the very bottom of this pyramid. So I must move carefully, like a chess match. I need to exploit every chance and level up like crazy. My survival depends on it. In the blink of an eye, the next day arrives, and the rookie arena is packed with a massive, chaotic crowd. While everyone's looking for a sucker to lean on or a solid partner, whoa, what's that? Is that a humanoid monster? Humanoids are treated like walking nuclear bombs. The moment I enter the place with Leora, we become the center of attention. All eyes are locked on us, but since they're a bit slow on the uptake, they quickly figure out whose side this humanoid monster is on. This is our goofball. Didn't he hand over that legendary beast of his to the Chen family? So where did this thing next to you come from? Now they remember, isn't this that broken character from last year's altar? That famous, useless piece of junk who can't level up. They think ours has lost its mind. Nobody even dares to make eye contact with me, as if I'm a leper. Ignoring the judgmental stares, I glide toward the entrance with a cool air. Just as I'm about to check in with Leora, I hear that familiar, annoying, and venomous mocking voice behind me. Well, look who we have here. Our rich snob Dylan, with that succubus on his arm, is showing off with those flashy moves like he's got a headache. That yellow succubus in his lap immediately stays in character, sucking up to her master with a slimy, sticky voice. Dylan slaps his forehead with an Oscar-worthy performance of exaggerated shock, spitting out that look of contempt in his eyes. Actually, he owes me a thank you. I was so generous that I left him this gem and took that piece of junk instead. The demon giggles struttingly but secretly rolls its eyes. Right after, she puts on that fake and seductive mask. It could only show its true potential beside a naturally gifted alpha like him. A total professional kiss-up. The crowd of NPCs around immediately starts sucking up. How could a poor guy like me ever compete with the great Dylan? That epic-level creature only shines in the hands of a master like Dylan. It would just turn into trash in my hands. Anyway, with that broken monster, I won't even be a fraction of what Dylan is. Word is, Dylan is definitely going to dominate this exam. And I'm watching this circus show with my poker face. I'm even giving these poor souls a slight smirk out of the corner of my mouth. The little angel standing by me is shaking with rage, clenching her teeth so hard that sparks are almost flying. With fists clenched white, he could dive into that crowd and cause chaos at any moment. I need to intervene and stop this suicide bomber right now. Right now, the only thing we need to focus on is the rookie exam. We can't let those fools' poisonous words cloud our minds. Seeing my calm gaze, the volcanic rage inside him slowly fades. He takes a deep breath and accepts the situation, but his eyes shine with the fire of revenge. I'm sure you're making vows deep down. He'll risk everything to prove to those fools that his master is the #1 king in this world. We leave the entrance behind, pass through the blue light beam, and the scene changes instantly. It's like we teleported to another dimension. We find ourselves in the heart of a vast forest. The fog's so thick, it's like a horror movie set, cold and eerie. Even though all students enter the same secret area, the system randomly tosses us to different corners of the map. I'm taking out my timer and setting it for exactly 4 hours. This beginner dungeon is timed, so we have no time to waste. When the countdown's over, the system will kick us out. Time's tight, the mission's tough, we gotta go serial killer mode and mow down these monsters. While saying we need to hunt to level up fast, a crackling sound like breaking bones comes from deep within the mist. Leora senses the danger and screams to warn me. He suddenly spreads his wings, blocking the way like a divine shield. A second later, the fog clears, and that terrifying monster enters the stage. A death machine approaching us with heavy steps. He stands exactly 2 meters tall, a pitch-black bull, but not like any cow you've ever seen. His eyes shine like lanterns, but the light they emit is blood red. Seeing the ferocity in those eyes and the stats of the wild-boned bull, I frown and feel my spirits sink. Coming face to face with a level 2 elite monster the moment I enter the dungeon? Just my luck, I wouldn't even win a cent back from the lottery. Luckily, I have a legendary destruction machine with me, Leora. She gives me a confident look as if to say she'll handle it. The fire of war burns in the little angel's eyes. Her body may be delicate, but the dominant aura she radiates is practically begging for a fight. He was exhausted from waiting for this moment. The moment he activates his divine judgment, dazzling golden flames burst from his palm. Those flames suddenly transform into a massive, two-handed sword of destruction burning with holy fire. Now, the visual feast begins. That pure battle instinct bred into the blood of the angel race is awakening. The bull is driven wild by this sudden display of power. With a deafening roar, he unleashes his feral charge and barrels toward us like a runaway truck. Leora hasn't budged an inch. He's practically mocking death. The moment the bull got right in his face, that perfect golden glow sliced through the mist like a scalpel. Time seemed to freeze at that very second. The wild-boned bull still thinks it can charge, but the poor thing already bit the dust. It just collapsed right behind Leora. That massive frame was sliced clean in half like a razor. Instead of blood, a streak of deep blue energy rose from the corpse, gliding straight into Leora's forehead to merge with her. So I opened the panel to look right away. Just killing one level 2 loser bull. It instantly shot Leora up to level 1. Right then, it felt like elephants were stomping in my head, and a strange buzzing started. My mental power is surging like a tsunami, and my 5 senses have hit 4K resolution. A beast master is ultimately a slave to their creature's level. My level also jumped to the first layer awakened along with him. I immediately focused on Leora's enviable qualities. Only now do I realize what a terrifying trick a monster of legendary quality can be. Leora, who just leveled up. It would chew up and spit out that level 2 wild-boned bull in every single stat. And do you know what's even creepier? As levels increase, this power gap will grow logarithmically. Just then, the girl Leora's stare startled me. Frozen beside the bull's carcass, those delicate fingers are trembling with excitement. When she turned around, I saw crystal tears streaming down her cheeks. His gaze cried out that he was no longer a piece of useless trash. Oh, honey, I understand you. You've never been trash. You're an angel who makes the 9 heavens tremble. With Leora's insane power right now, ordinary level 3 monsters are nothing but an appetizer. Even level 4s will barely break a sweat. Especially when he reaches level 2, even level 5 monsters will kneel before him. Meanwhile, things are getting messy in the test site's control room. The manager's at one, frowning and laser-focused on the middle screen. It's like his life energy is being drained, he looks so miserable. The screen flows with participant scores and potential ratings, as the system calculates if they'll ever amount to anything. Is this year's crop from Linyuan City really this rotten? The man shakes his head in disappointment. That kid Dylanchin barely managed to hit A rank. The rest are just a bunch of mediocrities who can't even reach a B+. Just as he was about to look away, he caught an abnormal glimmer of data out of the corner of his eye. The name's Ethan. The point's next to this name. It's rising at a terrifying speed, almost like it's got rockets attached. And he smashes through the 5,000 mark. While everyone's eyes were wide with amazement. Sir, his pupils have shrunk to the size of pinpins. Think about it, even the best of the other students are stuck at a few hundred points. Even Dillinson barely reached 2,000. But this dull, unknown guy's score is almost at 5,000. What kind of healing is this? The manager slammed the desk as if to break it and jumped to his feet. The rate of score increase defies logic. I wonder if that naive staff member over there is also freeloading? He's talking nonsense about 2 packs fighting so he could claim the loot. Don't be ridiculous. Shut it. The manager just shut that guy up right away. Fuming with rage. Quickly, bring Ethan's file. The staff is about to wet themselves from fear. He quickly grabbed the file and handed it to Manager Shu. The manager's frown deepened as he read the file. Ethan, that crippled trash who made a contract with a monster. How does it get such a dazzling result? But a second later, his eyes widened as if a bolt of lightning had struck his brain. Has that angel monster healed? When that angel-formed creature first appeared, all of Linyuan City was shaken. On screen, Ethan's scores continued to skyrocket. Its potential rating has already skyrocketed to S+. The manager's hand began to tremble involuntarily. A genius like that is way above my pay grade. He turned to his assistant and shouted in a panic. Tell the city lord things are about to get wild. After 3 hours of insane grinding, Leora has already reached level 3. It's even on the verge of reaching level 4. And Leora's stats absolutely crush ordinary level 3 monsters. My body shook as the power in my mind exploded again. That means Leora's reached level 4. But the monsters here aren't enough to satisfy us anymore. Leora signaled that she caught a strong scent of prey to the east. If his instincts are right, a massive level 5 monster is waiting for us there. That definitely cheered me up. A level 5 awakened monster. Not a single one for 3 hours. We're drying up here. We finally found it. Leora, let's go pull the plug on this. Just one level 5 monster will be the perfect boost for Leora to level up. Guided by Leora, we glided silently. Whoa, it really is a level 5 brute. Plus, the quality is not bad at all. Superior quality is a real pain. Look at this high-quality beast, it's got me smacking my lips. Compared to those low-class losers, that elite quality has a whole different aura. But even though I'm facing a level 5 monster right now, my confidence is sky-high. It doesn't even faze him. With Leora's stats pushing past 100%, this level 5 creature won't last more than 2 sword strikes. If she plays hard to get. Just as we were about to ambush Leorela, we noticed others had already crashed the place. Or rather, it looks like this monster has found its prey. Down in the valley, a tiger driven mad by bloodlust has pinned down 3 rookies. When the poor low-tier team sees level 4 monsters, they turn into cornered rats. This team is in a pathetic state, with even its strongest member only at level 3. The monster masters have turned pale, thinking to themselves, "Are we gonna die here?" Teeth are clenched as the sweat of death flows like a river. The fear of death reflects in their voices. That creature, licking its teeth with its revolting blood-red tongue, seems to be bored of this cat-and-mouse game. He's serious. As the earth and sky roar with that terrible sound, 4 monsters lunged at our heroes all at once. A total massacre scenario. As those fall-clawing sounds ripped through the air and grated on my ears, it was time to stop being a spectator eating popcorn on the sidelines. I went ahead and slapped the order to attack Leora. After all, do I look like the type to let all the delicious XP from these monsters slip away? Leora, switch to angel mode. It's getting serious. It's turned into a madhouse. Only Leora's dual attribute, overpowered angel mode, can clear this place. Because he's the only one who can dominate the whole scene. The split second Leora took command of my mind, she shattered the seals on her body like an unleashed disaster. And boom, the world instantly turned crimson. As the sacred flames erupted, Grisses seemed to vanish, evaporating in fear. Everything within 100 meters melted in hellish heat as even the air began to warp. Out of those flames that leave even me speechless, a breathtaking silhouette rises. 4 massive wings burning with holy fire open majestically. The golden divine patterns shining on each feather flow just like a work of art. Leora's innocent look is gone. In their place came the golden vertical pupils of a predatory dragon locked onto its prey. Like a flame empress straight out of mythology. The air in the valley froze because of that divine pressure he exuded, as if it dared not move. Those 3 level 4 awakened creatures that were acting tough just now are now burying their heads in the mud and crying like terrified kittens. Even that bloodthirsty tiger, at level 5 awakening, lost its wits after consuming Leora's aura. The situation just isn't promising. It froze in midair while lunging at us, its massive body dangling as if hung by an invisible rope. Our class president already started stuttering from shock. While Nina, the youngest of the team, trembles with fear, Roxy Shin has her nails dug into her palms. Whether from excitement or horror, no one knows. His knuckles have gone white. He opens his mouth, but no sound comes from his throat, parched with fear. Poor girl, her brain circuits just fried. His logic is literally failing. The beginner trial was supposed to only have rookie monster tamers and easy creatures. This divine being is definitely not a creature. That leaves only that mind-boggling, unbelievable possibility. Or is this someone's pet? While everyone stared like stunned ducks, Leora swept her icy golden gaze over the poor creatures crawling on the floor. He swung the holy sword in his hand indifferently, as if shooing away a fly. 3 crimson sword lights tore through the void. Those 3 monsters were cut in half before they could even say mother. His organs spilled out like a waterfall. The bloodthirsty tiger roars in one last moment of despair. Finally, his pupils shrank, and his body turned to dust and blew away. A bright blue orb of light, the size of a basketball, rose from the tiger's carcass. It slowly drifted and entered through Leora's forehead. The show is basically over as the last speck of holy flame fades from the air. The golden patterns on his body receded like the ebbing tide. Those 4 flaming wings turn into scattered sparks and drift away. That divine figure suspended in the air slowly descended to the ground. But his feet are getting tangled, he's walking like he's drunk. Even if angel mode maxes out your stats, the fuel consumption is terrifying. It's literally draining you dry, honey. Leora, at her current 4th level, can only hold this form for 30 seconds, even if she overexerts herself. Once sure the danger had passed, he tilted his head slightly and fixed his eyes on a shadowed area, as if asking where the boss was. Roxy, her cheerful crew, and her sidekicks are holding their breath, eyes wide in shock, staring right where Leora is looking. Who could possess such insane power? But when that familiar loser they knew emerged from the shadows, their brains froze. Everyone froze like statues. Ethan? Roxy's pupils shrank to pinpoints, her voice turning into a high-pitched screech from shock. As the president of Class 3, she naturally knows this classmate, who is usually faint and inconspicuous. Just the other day, she heard the boy's monster was stolen and felt so sorry for him. But when I walked towards them, things changed. The types Leora saved turned out to be familiar faces. Gave a quick nod to President Roxy and said, "What a coincidence." The girl answered like a robot, of course. The school's biggest loser is standing next to a legendary creature that takes down level 5 monsters in one shot. This image felt so unnatural to his brain that his temples began to throb. I gave a polite nod and signaled Leora with my heels. Less than half an hour left for the exam. I need to make the most of these last few minutes and grind Leora to level 5. I don't have time for nonsense, and Leora's following me like a lost lamb. Before leaving, our friend politely gave a slight bow. The team almost had a collective heart attack when they saw this. As soon as I coolly vanished into the fog, the crew I left behind started a storm of gossip. "Chief, did you see what happened? When that monster bowed, I almost prostrated myself. Hani Ita's monster had been stolen. Is it just me, or has this kid leveled up? Honestly, that epic beast Dylan stole is like a stray kitten compared to this. We're in trouble for the exam in 10 days. If we run into Ethan." Someone spoke up in a thin voice. They all yelled at once for me to surrender. Meanwhile, at the City Lord's manor, the atmosphere is tense. City Lord Xavier stands there bowing and scraping, breaking into a sweat. And the opponent is no ordinary person. A middle-aged man in a navy blue Zhongshan suit. Hands behind the back. Standing there like he owns the place. Don't let that slight smile on her lips fool you. It crushes the hall with an invisible pressure. The big boss is the real ruler of the Southern Military District. Commander Wei has come in person. "Why did you go to the trouble, sir?" Wei Yuan slowly turned around. His gaze was fixed on Xavier like a nail. "So the soldier who once crawled at your command is now a warlord, huh?" "I just got back from Manhwa. They say the rookie from back there is a potential candidate for the ASV, but our old man isn't exactly convinced yet." Commander Kavir instantly catches that disappointment again, look in Wei's eyes, and chimes in with a submissive tone. "I'm afraid the situation in our Linyuan city isn't looking good either, Commander." Because he had his staff scour the files before the trial began. Aside from that trendy succubus the spoiled Chinair bought, everything's just literal trash. The quality is rock bottom. Wei Yuan takes a deep breath, and the disappointment between his brows is so clear you could see it from space. He's just that fed up. "Never mind," he says, "monster summoning shouldn't be forced. It's all about luck," as he straightens his collar and gets ready to bolt. Just as Xavier was seeing the man out, an assistant stumbles in looking drunk. Xavier's face dropped instantly. It's a total disgrace. Getting humiliated like this in front of his old boss really stings a man like him. His face goes dark with shame. "Is this what I taught you?" he roars, telling him to stay calm in a crisis, but the assistant's eyes are fixed on the massive figure in the hall. The poor guy's breaking out in a cold sweat, paralyzed with fear, but the bombshell news in his hands outweighs his terror. With her voice trembling with excitement, she drops the bombshell. "Mr. Mayor, a S-class potential has emerged from our city." "What?" At that moment, everyone's brain is fried. The sound of the ground shaking rises suddenly, creating a nuclear bomb effect in that silent mansion. Even Wei Yuan, who just said it was time to leave, is left in shock. The old commander suddenly spins on his heels, and that calm man is gone. It feels like a curious monster's coming in your place. Your partner's freezing up. Xavier jumps in to suck up as soon as he sees the commander's interest. Commander, should we go and take a look at this miracle ourselves? Golden glints dance in Wei Yuan's deep eyes. Come on, let's go. But there's something they don't know, my friend. The screening room has already turned into a madhouse. Chief, those two are so glued to the screen that his coffee spilled, and he hasn't even noticed. That number on the screen hits the man like a sledgehammer. He can't believe his eyes, his sense of reality is blurring. The maniac in first place, Ethan, is at exactly 25,500 points. And Dylan, in second place with her favors, is crawling at a pathetic 3,000 points. Even scarier, Ethan's score isn't stopping, it's skyrocketing. Everyone's holding their breath. The record for the last 10 years was only 3,500. The boss is mumbling to himself, he's choked up, staring at the screen like he's worshipping it, forgetting even how to swallow. The moment his eyes drift to the potential evaluation column, his pupils shrink to pinpoints, paralyzed by shock. Potential grade. 4 of them. Inside the dimension, Leora's pure white wings were stained crimson with monster blood, and a mountain of corpses lay at her feet. Sir, I'm grinning because I think they've learned their lesson. Looking at the valley entrance, dozens of different monster types have teamed up like a syndicate. They bared their claws and blocked all exits. Most are second or third tier losers, but together they think they're hot shot. When dozens of them gather, it creates a terrifying sight, of course. Clearly we've terrified them. They're shaking in their boots. Leora and I went on such a psychotic slaughter for half an hour that the remaining monsters had no choice but to team up and lure us into a trap. Checking my timer, 3 minutes left. Great, we won't have to hunt them down. The victims have walked right into the slaughterhouse. Leora knows what to do. I don't even need to speak anymore. Our chemistry is scary. He reads my intentions just by looking at me. Release angel mode. Gold patterns instantly cover Leora's body. Those blinding wings of light are spreading once again. Divine judgment, that blinding white light, swallows the valley like a tsunami. Everywhere it passes, the screams of monsters rise like a symphony. At the final 5th level, as the demon wolf's head flies off, Leora's body shines like a bursting star. Awakened level 5, complete. Checking the stats now, this little Reaper's legendary quality is finally showing its teeth. He's only level 5, but his stats would chew up and spit out ordinary level 7 or 8 monsters. It's practically a cheat code. Looking at the improvement suggestions in the system, I'm getting a feeling. As long as I gather light crystals, the path is clear. Holy Spirit Leaf and Angel Holy Blood, if I find these 3 ingredients, Leora's quality will leap to a new era and head toward divinity. But in the shops next door, our kind of poverty isn't even mentioned. I nod with a bitter smile, we have a tough job ahead. Right then, that wild energy around Leora finally settles down. He looks like he's saying, "Can we go now, master?" She's pulling my arm with her tiny hands, scanning the area with a hint of worry, looking bored with the carnage. I'm checking the meter, the numbers are resetting right on time. And at that moment, a mechanical and cold voice echoes through the dimension. This amateur attempt is officially over. The system says pack up, we're leaving. The time to say goodbye has come. Within 10 seconds, everyone in this dimension will be sent to Lin Yuan City. The moment the countdown ends, a blinding light swallows the world. When I open my eyes, the familiar silhouette of Lin Yuan Square appears before me. I'm dizzy, but we're home. Before I can even shake off the teleportation daze, I see excited staff swarming around us. It's like they've seen an alien. That grumpy manager is running over here with a grin from ear to ear. You put on a real show pushing that student, it's screaming. What a performance! He adds that the city lord is calling for you personally and wants to talk. When you're powerful, everyone becomes your slave, of course. After a brief hesitation, the penny drops. My show in the beginner dungeon must have really put me on the city lord's radar. I saw this coming, so I'm not going to play hard to get. Alright. As I slip away from the corner of the square like a shadow, the other participants start teleporting out safely. When that snob Dylan Chin shows up right in the middle of the square, with that succubus on his arm, he's surrounded by a pack of brown-nosing students, acting like he created the world. Dylan, you're definitely going to be number 1 in this exam. They say next to that epic beast of yours, all others are just appetizers. I bet Dylan scored at least 3,000 points. They're hyping it up saying this result will blow last year's records away. Dylan's grinning from ear to ear hearing this flattery. Her face is practically splitting from smiling so much. But wait, look how fast that was. The rankings are announced. That roar rising from the square instantly sets the place ablaze, like a boiling cauldron spilling over. Everyone's eyes go wide, glued to the giant screen. The ranking list is appearing slowly, starting from the lowest score. As the crowd gasps in awe, my tongue, certain that victory is in the bag, drinks in their applause. With one hand he plays with the succubus's hair, while in his mind he dreams of the medal he'll receive from the city lord. Poor kid. But the next second, he's absolutely stunned. Is my vision getting blurry? Why is Dyla's name in second place? This sound strikes your mind like lightning. Dylan Chen's sweet dream instantly turns into a nightmare. He turns his head so fast I thought his neck would snap, just staring at that damn data on the screen. Second row, Dylan Chen. 4,100 points. Potential assessment, grade A. No way, that's impossible. Dylan Chen's eyes widen in shock, his voice cracking. 4,100 points? This result should have gone down in the history of Lin Yuan City. How can he still be second? Dyla's eyes are bloodshot, staring at that giant screen with hatred, searching for a victim. Kim? Which fool stole my first place? And here's the moment everyone's been holding their breath for. The first row is opening slowly. Ethan. 44,300 points, potential for Dosai class. Seeing this number, the crowd falls silent as if an atomic bomb dropped, then explodes. Whoa, no way! Is Ethan's score 44,300? What do you mean by hundreds, thousands? It's reached the 10,000s place. What do you mean by a 5-digit score, man? To dose 4? This guy literally wrote a cheat code. While everyone is speechless with shock, Dylan Chen stands frozen like a lightning-struck scarecrow. He's getting hung up on those two numbers. It's in the 44,000s, in the 4,000s. There's a tenfold difference. How is this even possible? Cheating. There's no other explanation. He's cheating. Dylan suddenly starts laughing like crazy. She's digging her nails into her palms so hard they're about to bleed. Now I get it. That pathetic loser must have used the 20 million my dad gave him to hire guys to boost his rank. Thinking that the poor boy she once crushed like a bug is now humiliating her with modern-day Chen family charity, the fire of rage in her chest is burning her alive. What, did Ethan think he could beat me with my family's money? I'm hiring the best demon hunters right now. If 10's not enough, then 20. They'll all come after that wretch. In 10 days at the academy exam, I'll make that trash kneel before me and beg for mercy. But right now, there's only one poisonous thought in Dyla's head. Eliminate Ethan at any cost. He pulls his succubus along impatiently, but as she turns, her eyes catch that glowing name on the screen. Ethan for S classes. At that moment, a poisonous doubt sprouts in his heart. Was the choice I made at the very beginning right? Meanwhile, I'm entering a luxury conference hall under Manager Su's guidance. The moment you walk in, your eyes lock onto that imposing figure in the navy blue uniform sitting in the place of honor. Even City Lord Xavier is bowing and scraping before him. This detail hits me immediately. This middle-aged man before me holds a position that even puts the City Lord to shame. When Xavier sees me, he immediately jumps up and starts introducing Student Ethan. Before you is Commander Wei Yuan, Commander-in-Chief of the Southern Military Region. My pupils contract instantly. This name means legend in the nation of Longshaw. A sovereign-level beastmaster is the backbone of the Southern War Zone. A true titan who can single-handedly change the course of national crises. My Lord Commander, hello? I pull myself together and bow respectfully. Wei Yuan nods slightly. After sizing me up with those deep eyes, he speaks in a fatherly tone. Student Ethan, hitting that quad S potential on your rookie attempt. Impressive, congratulations. Thank you, Commander. But I assume you didn't just call me here to congratulate me. True, seeing my sharp reaction, a spark of appreciation flickers in Wei Yuan's eyes. When Ethan got the report on the way and heard the quad audio levels, his first reaction was, no way. After all, in the vast Longshaw nation, geniuses who reach this level can be counted on one hand. Especially for Lin Yuan, from a remote town wiped off the map, to get 4S ranks, it's nearly impossible. At first, he thought this kid just inflated his score with some tricks. But the moment he saw Ethan's monster with his own eyes, all the clouds of doubt in his mind vanished. The aura this animal emits is no joke. It has already surpassed epic proportions. If you have a legendary level creature, Getting a quad S rank is as easy as pie. Wei Yuan turns to the young man and gets straight to the point, saying, Student Ethan, I have a favor to ask of you. But this request isn't like buying a loaf of bread from the corner store. When Wei Yuan gives that sideways glance while talking, the city guard captain instantly gets the hint and respectfully excuses himself from the room. As soon as the door closes, Wei Yuan waves his hand and the surroundings change instantly. A pale blue screen, rippling like water, suddenly envelopes them both. They call this the student contract. Think of it as a simple trailer of your talent in the field. The master says when you reach commander level, you'll pull off these tricks too. Just so the gossips don't hear us, it's a deep subject. My expression turns serious as I look at the fluctuating energy barrier in front of me. Adam literally quarantined the room. It's worse than I thought. If a sovereign-level monster lord is being this paranoid and using area of effect power, there's definitely something dirty going on. It's probably about the survival of the Long Sea Nation. Everyone knows dimensional rifts are trying to swallow our world and merging with the Blue Star. All nations are working hard to build defense lines, so low-level rookie monster masters can grind safely without getting killed. I'm nodding. History books already made us memorize all this. But unfortunately, our Longshan's construction is moving at a snail's pace compared to other countries. VU abruptly shifts gears and asks if I know why we're so far behind. Frowning, I wonder, did the contractor run away? I'm asking if the construction went wrong, but the guy says exactly so, points into thin air, and draws a projection in the sky. Turns out, 3 years ago, they discovered a massive testing ground at a strategic location. Normally, you'd be thrilled to find a treasure, but as luck would have it, this damn thing sprouted right at the defense line's most critical junction. Closing the defense line without clearing this out is a pipe dream. That gap sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's gonna cause us trouble. Those demon clan creatures are looking for a chance to dive in through this gap. When I hear this, I look at Wei Yuan as if to say, So what do you want from me? What can I even do? Just as I'm about to speak, he raises his hand, says, Stop right there, and touches the air with his fingertip. A 3D map is laid out before us. Every area of the testing ground is marked in detail. It's like a total strategy game. Most spots are green, meaning they're cleared, but the real trouble is in that area right in our faces. Only the core area is on red alert. It's burning like crazy. They've cleared everywhere else, but this last stronghold won't fall. He points at that red glow and sets off the bomb. To enter here, you need a team of 3 awakened level 5 or 6 maniacs. The image suddenly zooms in, hitting us with that terrible truth. The region's difficulty is sky high. The trial grounds are secret realms that grant a fortune to those who clear them. You'll get rich. The state has categorized these into 5 levels based on difficulty. Common, hard, nightmare, hell, and the daddy of them all, that damn abyss level. He looks into my eyes and says he needs you, Wei Yuan. We got stuck with the job, great, right? We'll join the other 2 4S-class geniuses to complete this impossible mission. We need to complete our defensive line with patriotic propaganda. Now we know why the commander of a whole military district is chasing after rookie-level awakened ones. Rules are rules, no adults allowed. While I'm trying to process the situation, he thinks I'm chicken. But the risk is high, so the reward should be great too, right? Just my participation is enough. Pick whatever you want from the Southern Military District Treasury, he says. Now he's speaking my language. The man opens another screen in the air with his hand. It's like Alibaba's cave in here. Ghosts of rare materials flow away. As I'm just looking around, my eyes catch one that makes my heart skip a beat. My eyes are locked on that material. This is a bright crystal. And not a broken one, but one in perfect condition. With my voice trembling, I'm asking, Commander, is this really in the warehouse? I wouldn't have believed it even in my dreams that I'd find the first material needed to develop Leora here, in the state warehouse. Wei Yuan notices my surprise, smiles slyly, and enlarges the image of the crystal. The old man realized I took the bait. They say this toy seems important to you. I'm shaking my head. What does important mean? This is a vital piece. All right. Whether you live or die, this stone is yours. He's asking if we have a deal. No need to even think about it. Kabul. I was gonna say it's a duty to the country, but after seeing that shiny crystal, I'd even go for free. It turned out to be such a lucky job. Seeing that I accept, Wei Yuan heaves a deep sigh of relief. The guy's taken a military oath to finish that line this year, or she's in trouble. Time is money, so we're hitting the road right now. The man's in a hurry. He has no patience to wait. Our people are dying every single day because of that damn void. The commander is tough but right, there's no time to lose. Suddenly, things break loose. Before I even realize what's happening, I feel a claw around my waist. Wei-Yuan is packing us up and kidnapping us. We're being launched into the sky. And at that moment, a giant bird appears, piercing the clouds with a deafening sound. We're landing on the back of this flying castle. I'm checking the creature's stats, but the system's giving an error. Everywhere is a question mark. My heart's in my mouth. I'm shell-shocked as your creation breaks the sound barrier and tears through the atmosphere. The lack of wind pressure points to only one thing. The monster beneath us is at least a commander-level deity. He's probably even pushing the boundaries of the monarch level. 3 hours later, it lands at the base surrounded by cloud-swallowing mountains. The moment I jump off the giant bird's back, I spot 2 rookies standing in the camp. These guys next to the soldiers must be my comrades from the exam. Yuna Ing from the capital shines with 4S potential. Skylar from Linyuan City also has 4S potential. Wei-Yuan introduces us, hoping all 3 of us make it out of this hell alive. Standing on the left, Yuna exudes a total Ice Queen aura with her white robe and crystal ice bird on her shoulder. When he hears the introduction, he gives me a nod, but his eyes linger suspiciously on the aura. A flash of surprise sparks in his ice blue pupils. So I give a polite nod and start analyzing the woman's beast. Skylar on the right has her arms crossed, showing off next to a 3-meter bronze war tree. She gives me a sideways look, a condescending glare as if she's looking at an insect. I'm weighing the power beast data in my head. I've made my decision. Even if they're all 1-star legendary grade, the power gap between them is plain as day. Leora's specs might not steal the show on paper, but with balanced growth, it's a flawless machine with no weak points. Wei-Yuan asks if the preparations are ready and starts leading us to the exam area. The commander's piercing gaze sweeps over us. Once the equipment and spirits are ready, the journey begins. Before long, Wei-Yuan leads us to the entrance of an ancient temple. Even in ruins, the fine details throw its former glory right in our faces. This place was once a sacred site for the elven race. But that ancient race vanished into thin air, leaving only this cursed testing ground behind. The rewards for passing are solid, but we're told to bolt if things get dangerous. Our safety comes before everything else. Our Skylar immediately thumps his chest and gives the commander his word. He claims that as long as he's here, the exam will be a piece of cake. Wei-Yuan gives her a meaningful look and drops the subject. He's pointing to the stone platform in the center of the temple, wanting us to start the show. Finally, his booming voice echoes. All soldiers line up and salute, wishing for victory. The 3 of us, with everyone's eyes on us. We place our hands on the stone at the same time. At that moment, a blinding white light pierces the sky and YouTube destroys all 3 of us. I'm stepping into these ruins, bowing to the armies just to gather the materials to repair Leora. As soon as we enter the exam area, Skylar suddenly stops and turns to me. The thick branches of the war tree behind it rustle threateningly. He's implying I cheated for my 4S rank, telling people like me to stay out of the way when things get dangerous. Lifting his chin with pride, gesturing that I should stay quiet and hide behind him and the Greek. With them around, at least I could have saved my life. Now you've got my attention. This capital snob is arrogant, but deep down he's not bad. He's just overdosing on confidence because life hasn't slapped him yet. Also, killing the monsters here won't level you up. If someone's volunteering to do the grunt work, I'm all for it. I leave the stage to him without any trouble and make way with an exaggerated gesture. Satisfied with my submissive attitude, Skylar mumbles, "Smart choice," and moves to the very front. Yunnan ignores this pissing contest completely and sinks into a telepathic chat with the Ice Emerald Phoenix on his shoulder. And then, we come face to face with the first wave of monsters. When you see the data for these 3 test golems, you realize how serious this is. With all stats at 100, these tin cans have reached level 6 superior monster strength. In fact, their stats are so balanced they'd even mop the floor with monsters of their own level. Even scarier, this is just the warm-up. It'll only get more brutal as we move forward. But Skylar, unaware of the gravity of the situation, has already stepped forward. He wants Grease to stay out of it. He claims he can handle these piles of scrap all by himself. Yuna nods as if to say, Just keep struggling. At Skylar's command, the war tree's massive roots burst from the ground, wrapping around the golems like giant pythons. The grating, hideous sound of wood fibers rubbing against metal shells echoes. Finally, with the sound of explosions, the golems shatter and scatter everywhere. Skylar turns to us proudly. His face is literally begging for praise. Leora and I are locking eyes. In total collaboration, we both give a thumbs up in approval. Leora isn't falling behind either. He's hyping the kid up about how strong he is. Skylar is over the moon when she hears the compliment. He's acting like a teacher, saying we're not strong enough and should watch him to learn a thing or two. I keep nodding in agreement to quiet Leora down as she tries to argue. Way to go, champ. Bring on the next one. Skylar's trying to clear the path for her poor menu, but things are about to change. As we go deeper, those puppets we encountered are already starting to turn into monsters. When 5 awakened level 7 golems blocked our path, Skylar's fake smile froze right on his face. The guy is literally swimming in sweat from fear. Each of these metal stacks has an average power of 120 points. Skylar's massive war tree is about to get pulverized. It's clearly on its last legs. Beads of sweat are pouring down his forehead. The kid's fists are shaking. Getting closer. Need a hand, big guy? So I'm subtly making fun of them. Would he ever accept? He grits his teeth and refuses, but you can tell from a mile away he's about to burst with pride. He's pushing himself, and hard. Right then, Yuna gently taps the ice phoenix on her shoulder and takes charge. The girl is ice cold. In a word, I set them up, you knock them down. My eyebrows hit the ceiling when I hear Yunnan speak. Wow, turns out this ice queen can actually talk. But the real thing starts now. Hearing that the Greek will get involved, Skylar takes a deep breath. Otherwise, taking on those 5 golems alone would have cost him dearly. It's only the first stop and the guy almost got eliminated. But when Yuna joins the battle, that hopeless situation suddenly turns around. Ice wrap. The moment the phoenix flaps its wings, the golem's joints turn into icy statues. The opportunistic warlord attacks as if he had been waiting for this. Swinging its thick branches like sledgehammers, it shatters the frozen golems to pieces. While they handle the job, I'm just kicking back. Oh, how relaxing. Yuna and Skylar are putting on a show. Per golems, they can't even last a single round. Leorela and I are practically going to sit in the stands and munch on sunflower seeds. Before long, those two steamroll through the first checkpoint. By the time the 3 of us reach the end of the first stage, the air is still thick with smoke. 3 dark passages appear before us. This is where things get real, the second stop of the void level trial. Intelligence says we have to go down all 3 paths alone. So everyone looks out for themselves, no help at all. It's unclear what's at the end of the tunnel, not a soul knows what awaits us in the 3rd stage. The ones who entered last time only made it this far, anyway. Skylar suddenly turns her head and fixes her eyes on me. His gaze lingers on her. The look in your eyes says, "Can you pull this off, rookie?" He trusts Yuna completely, no doubt about her. The girl was a top contender at the capital tryouts. His power is even beyond our own, but if this boy wonder from the sticks gets in their way, they're in big trouble. Even if he and Yuna pass, if I blow it, the whole exam is ruined. Even that cold-hearted Yuna turned her head slightly, waiting for my answer. Since I didn't lift a finger the whole way, the poor girl naturally can't figure out what kind of guy I am. I'm a total closed book. I'm not even deigning to answer Skylar's suspicions. I give a slight, devious smirk and start walking toward the central passage. The word, can't, is not in a man's book. The moment I step in, the atmosphere changes, as if I'm teleporting to another dimension. I turn my back and the entrance is nowhere to be found. There's only endless darkness, and a mechanical nightmare slowly taking shape from within. An improved type? My eyebrows are furrowing. This tinkin is nothing like ordinary balanced golems. The level difference is obvious. It's not just the attribute boost, the real pain is that balance field ability. Leora, pull the plug on this. The moment I speak, Leora's silver wings spread with majesty. That flaming sword, looking as if carved from blood, appears in his hand. One light flap of its wings, and it vanishes. In front of the golem, a golden blade light flashes by like a star. That massive upgraded golem is instantly split in 2. Piles of metal crash to the ground with a thud. The metal shreds as it hits the barrier. Once the blue barrier ahead is gone, I'll have Leora follow me as I move forward. In the second area, one of those damn enhanced golems is waiting for us again. But this level 6 awakening is some kind of joke. It ruins my mood seeing the enemy's stats jump to 120 points. My eyebrows are literally knotting up. Now we see why everyone's stuck on this stage. The difficulty increases exponentially in every room. The golem's power increases geometrically, my friend. This awakened level 6 junk pile is strong enough to challenge a level 5 epic creature. And we're only at the second checkpoint. Have a heart. Leora's sword rises and falls again with a deadly glint. Golem pert. In the next scene, we face two awakened level 6 golems at the same time. The balance field is starting to work. It intends to suppress Leora. The curse ability lowers Leora's attributes by about 10 points. But thank goodness our girl can still run circles around them, even after losing weight. He sends these two piles of junk to the scrapyard without any effort. But the real trouble starts now. The difficulty keeps climbing. When we reach the final room with Leora, 3 hulking golems emitting a terrifying aura were waiting for us inside. 3 upgraded golems and 3 overlapping balance zones. A wall of metal, has practically been built in front of Leora. Leora's power is suppressed by nearly 30 points. Under these conditions, even our girl might struggle to take down these giants if she doesn't activate Seraph mode. Things could get messy. But to be honest, I'm not worried about the battle ahead, but what those 2 other suckers are doing. Will they be able to get out of this hell? With this unit girl's mental power hitting 170 points, she'll make that place look like a walk in the park. But Skylar's clumsy war tree will face off against 3 awakened level 7 golems. That's exactly where it's likely to fall apart. The situation is bad. I'm making my decision while forming plans in my head. Burn it up in Leora Seraph mode, let the show begin. I want a fast fight and clean work. As soon as my little angel gets the command. Understood. He says, and red flames burst from his body. 4 wings of light open behind it like a sign of the apocalypse. Holy flame energy radiates in waves, turning the entire place into a living hell. With attributes doubled, that's a full 300 points of pure destructive power. Absolute and overwhelming dominance. 3 golden sword beams leave trails like meteors streaking across the sky. Those poor little buff golems won't even know what hit them. Before they can even react, they're split in half and turn into ashes scattered by the wind. Even the barrier at the end, the one called impassable, slowly dissolves in fear. Meanwhile, in the monitoring room, the nerve center of the trial grounds, a massive stone platform hangs in the air, revealing the participants' fates second by second. Commander, they've entered the second checkpoint. Veiyuan nods slightly at these words, but his eyes remain locked on that stone screen. His gaze is as cold as a tombstone. He knows all too well that the real nightmare of this damn exam begins after the second checkpoint. Remember that catastrophe last year? Except for those 4 S potential geniuses who barely crawled to the end, the other 2 SS rank prodigies were eliminated at 70%, unable to even scratch the path. Veiyuan has unknowingly turned into a stress ball, his knuckles turning white from clenching his fists. If we mess up again this time, we'll have to wait another year. Dismiss the order. Border units, switch to level 1 battle alert. The moment the second point is cleared, part of the testing area will vanish into nothingness. That's when the demon clan creatures will swarm in through that gap like cockroaches. Not even that damn second point yet. We don't even know if we'll make it through, but it's best to be prepared for the worst. Yes, sir. Just as the assistant is about to bolt, he notices the stone platform glowing with a blinding light out of the corner of his eye. He stares as if his eyes are about to pop out of their sockets. Commander, it's unbelievable, but someone has already torn through the second point. What? Weiyuan whips around so fast he could break his neck, his gaze fixed on the stone. There are 5 big characters screaming the truth. One person cleared it. Who's this maniac? Get this through your heads. It's only been half an hour since 3 people entered the second point. According to previous victims, there are 3 7th levels awakened in the final location. Testing golem monster waiting. A 5th level awakened against a 7th level? Even if those 3 monsters are legendary level, taking them down is suicide. Commander, I think this is definitely Uni Inc. The assistant gets over the shock and starts playing detective. After all, The Yink family blood isn't tainted, it's special. They can only contract with a single monster in their lifetime. The assistant's thinking aligns with Wei Yuan's predictions. The Yink family has the most ancient roots of the Longshan nation. Bloodline legacies are like a total cheat code. Family members are condemned to a single monster. But that noble blood can raise the beast's quality to the heavens. That's exactly why monsters of the Yink family are epic level at the very least. That ink's been made by the family for nearly a century. The greatest talent. It makes sense that it cleans this fast. But it doesn't just end with getting here. Wei Yuan's face still looks like a funeral home. The main problem is, if Aiden and Skylar can't clear that part, it won't matter if Yuna is a god. Because this exam is a 3-person curse. If even one person stumbles, the entire exam will be marked as a failure. But right at that moment of gloom, the helper screeches again. Commander, one more's been taken out. What's going on there? Wei Yuan's eyes turned back to the platform. That. Cleaned by one person. Text at the start changed to. Cleaned by 2 people. In the blink of an eye. Yuna, the Ice Queen of the Yink family, appears with her incredibly powerful monster, the Frost Fire Phoenix. Standing at the exit of the trial, I can see the shock of his life on that dull face. He probably couldn't even imagine it, that I passed the part he and his birds struggled with until they were exhausted, just by coasting through in much less time. I'm already kicking back in the main hall. The moment he steps outside, those sharp, icy eyes scan the surroundings. Me? I'm leaning against a stone pillar. Beside me, Leora glides silently. Hey, so you made it. I'm as relaxed as if we were on a picnic. Yuna stands frozen in place. For the first time since I met him, I see flashes of surprise in those steady eyes. That ice statue is speechless. He definitely gave it his all on that exam. The Ice Phoenix gave everything, but was still slower than me. How sad. After a long silence, he swallows his pride and comes to me. There's a slight hesitation in your voice. How long have you been here? If he looks up and doesn't care, I'll answer. For about 10 minutes or so. The pupils are shrinking to pinpoints. 10 minutes? This means my monster's power far exceeds that of his boasted Ice Phoenix. Even the phoenix on his shoulder feels this humiliation and bristles its feathers. It's like it reads its owner's mind. Yuna reaches out to calm him down. Then he gives me a nod and turns to the other side of the room. But those cold eyes are still wandering over Leora and me. It's obvious he can't stomach it. Time is crawling at a snail's pace. Nothing at the third gate. Not a leaf is stirring. My expression turns serious. Something must have happened to that incompetent Skylar. Or it wouldn't have taken this long. Yuna is also frowning. After all these years, we've gathered 3 triple S talents. So are we gonna blow up here? That's the moment I decide to take control. I suddenly jump to my feet. Leora, let's go. Yuna turns around in surprise. Where to? With her eyes wide open staring at me, I freeze the room with just 2 words. To help. As I walk toward the crossing, she keeps staring at my back. The moment Skylar dove into that hellhole, the Greek's icy mask cracked as he sensed my intent. As he looked at me like I'd lost my mind, his usual calmness was nowhere to be found. This second exam was a brutal test of individual talent. If anyone else intervened, the difficulty tripled, turning it into a total death trap. And in the final room, exactly 10 awakened were waiting for us. Level 7 reinforced golems and overlapping balance fields. Yuna was as sure as her own name that even if I were stronger than her, I wouldn't escape this mathematical impossibility. But who cares? My steps didn't slow down for a moment. Commander Vey promised to give me that crystal, but I wasn't after charity. I wanted spoils. Being in debt isn't in my book. Leora, lift the restrictions. A pure desire for battle flared up in my little angel's eyes. My will was the sole and absolute law of its existence. Under Yuna's frozen gaze, Leora transformed into an angel of the apocalypse, bathed in sacred flames. That delicate silhouette was now the embodiment of war itself. A crimson dawn swallowed the whole hall. I sent that critical command to Leora from my mind. He should have turned half the golems to dust and ash the moment he stepped inside. Otherwise, under the pressure of 10 overlapping balance fields, even he would have been forced to his knees. My loyal servant etched this command into the deepest corners of his being. His reaction had a level of seriousness I'd never seen before. Together we plunged into that dark passage, into that swallowing void. I could feel it even without looking back. Yuna was frozen to the spot. As the fading light of the sacred flames flickered in his ice-blue eyes, it whispered a terrifying truth. While that girl covered in ice questioned the genius title given to them, I found Skylar in the depths of darkness. The war tree cocooned its master with gnarled branches, protecting him in desperation. Right then, at the very center, a massive fist exploded against the tree trunk. Standing before us was an awakened level 7 exam golem, a total killing machine. The golem's eyes glowed with a blood-red rage. If the Treant didn't have the Iron Curtain skill, Skylar would have been crushed and eliminated already. The tree's vine whips could only leave superficial scratches on the golem's armor. This wasn't a war, it was a pathetic stalemate. Skylar's voice echoed with that familiar tone of desperation and anger. He was almost on the verge of tears while questioning this golem's power and the inhuman difficulty of the trial. It hurt him to watch his creature take such a beating. But their futile attacks were like mere fly bites. Metal golems were a nightmare for physical-type monsters. For a creature like a war tree, this was nature's cruelest joke. Besides, even if they defeated this heap of metal, the nightmare wouldn't end. 3 more awakened level 7 golems were waiting for them in the rooms ahead. I could smell the desperation radiating off Skylar from right here. He was just about to throw in the towel. An earth-shaking explosion erupted from the depths of the gateway. Red and white beams of light lunged forward like a furious dragon. A flood of light, like a tsunami, destroyed the exam golem YouTube. When the dust settled, Skylar's wide eyes locked onto the last person she expected to see, me. It's like a knot in the throat. He was trying to ask how I could be here. His fingers were shaking uncontrollably from the shock. She never imagined the person coming to her rescue would be the very man she once looked down on like a bug. What an ironic twist of fate, isn't it? I shot a mocking glance at the young master, who was covered in sawdust and wood chips. That golem must have hit him hard on the head, or has young Master Chin become too stupid to recognize me? What a shame that he couldn't recognize his savior. Skylar's face turned bright red with embarrassment. He was stabbing the air with his finger, trying to explain something. He was tracing meaningless circles with his hands, but not a single logical word came out of his mouth. I stopped joking and got serious. It was finally time to wake up. Let's go. I scrapped all those metal heaps in the last room. The path is all clear, so we can go for a walk. When I dragged a dazed Skylar into the main hall, the proud heir of that great family was still in a trance. His gaze moved between me and Yuna like a mechanical robot. Finally, he had to swallow that bitter and absurd truth. This man from the countryside hadn't just crushed him, he proved to be even more powerful than the capital's #1 master. Yuna's ice-cold gaze locked onto me. It was as if he weren't facing a human, but a monster that defied the laws of logic. Yes, I passed the triple difficulty exam all by myself. And yes, I sent those 10 awakened, level 7 enhanced golems to the scrap heap all by myself. But we weren't in a rush to skip the final exam. The second exam was a total slaughter. The third exam was sure to be a total hell. We couldn't afford a single mistake. So first, we had to get our monsters back to peak condition. Once all 3 monsters fully recovered, Yuna came to me. For the first time, I saw a ripple of emotion in those blue eyes walled with ice. Her voice trembled with hesitation. I was caught off guard when he offered to hand over the leadership to me. But it made sense. Skylar beat his chest, shouting that his tree was as tough as a tank and could buy us time. Since they both insisted so much, I accepted. Our strategy was set. We started walking toward the ominous center of its circular hall. The moment our hands touched that cold stone platform, the entire hall lit up with a ghost blue light. There was no turning back. A mechanical voice echoed from the void. The final exam has been approved. Starting the program. A digital apocalypse screen unfolded before our eyes. The blood-red text was practically screaming in our faces. Final exam alert. Rule 1. Once started, the exam cannot be interrupted. Rule 2. Only those who clear it earn the right to exit. Rule 3. Those who fail are trapped in this dimension forever. When confirming the progress, I noticed a tiny, almost invisible text in the corner, like a little ant. Since the testing area was set up, The final exam pass rate has been 0%. When I read this message, the smile on my face turned into dead silence. In the first 2 exams, when things got tough, you could have escaped to the safe zone to save yourself. But the final exam knew no mercy. It only ends if you win. Meaning if the 3 of us failed, our lives would have ended here too. My eyes first flicked to Skylar. Surprisingly, that spoiled brat stood before me with deadly seriousness. He had no intention of backing down. Before he left, his old man put his foot down. Either pass this exam and return in glory, or never step foot in the Chin family's house again. Skylar suddenly looks up. That classic spark of rebellion against her father is shining in her eyes. The old man's trying to prove this wrong. Turns out his son wasn't a coward. He was ready to face death. Surprised as I am, I nod in agreement with this teenage drama. Now it's Ice Queen Yuna's turn. The girl opens her eyes slightly and utters only 2 words. But those 2 words carry a determination fierce enough to set worlds on fire. I can't help but smirk seeing that they're both ready for this suicide mission. I take a deep breath and press the yes button without hesitation. And boom. Giant rocks fall and block our only escape like a tomb. Space is literally warping in the middle of the living room. A blurry, massive shadow begins to take shape as if straight out of a nightmare. Every time that thing loads another %, the pressure crushing our lungs increases by 1 more degree. Seeing the master of the final exam, even my mouth is twitching. Power and endurance stats have exceeded 300 points. Where's the sense of justice? Even his so-called weak intelligence and speed are at 250 points. A level 5 rookie. How is he supposed to kill this monster? Is this system joking? Skylar and Yuna must have felt that nauseating aura coming from this giant golem too, because they're turning pale. Skylar is back up without realizing it. As for me, I'm looking at the fully formed golem, coming up with 1,000 murder plans in my head. If Leora activates Seraph mode, her stats will skyrocket to around 300. But even he looks like a toothpick next to this creature. Even so, combined with the Divine Judgment bonus, we might have a chance to pierce through that golem's 340 points of armor. But we have a small problem. This golem isn't just standing around. Leora won't just stand by and watch while she attacks. That's where our poor buddies Yuna and Skylar come in. I need exactly 3 seconds for Leora. If the plan fails, my eyes shift to Leora's ultimate for the final blow. If Seraph mode is terrifying, this ability is the apocalypse itself. This will definitely take that damn golem down, but I don't want to play that card without making sure I can survive a blade hit. Because after that skill, Leora will go into hibernation, and there's no telling when she'll wake up. Anyway, let's toss these gloomy thoughts aside. We'll handle it, guys. Yuna, Skylar, just give me those 3 seconds. Once they hear my voice, they both tense up like soldiers. Our guy's getting into a no problem, chief kind of mood. It might not kill the golem, but destroying it with a war spear? That it can do. Yuna nods in agreement. This leg muscle scrap might be trash, but it's a total pain when it comes to freezing and control. In theory, they need to hold this golem for 3 seconds, but looking at their creatures, my last bits of hope are dying. The golem's stats are almost double theirs. Gaining 3 seconds with this gap is like a snowball's chance in hell. Besides, the golem has skills too, but there's no way back now, the dice are cast. Meanwhile, in the rift of the outer realm, the demons have started the party. The barrier shatters into pieces with that final crack. Countless demons are pouring out from that massive rift like a flood, with ear-piercing screams. As Commander Wei watches that hideous demon wave, his monarch-level pressure crushes the entire battlefield. If even one of these freak creatures escapes, the price will be heavy. The great slaughter is about to begin. Demons don't fear death, but Commander Wei's soldiers are Longshan's most psychotic elites. This battle has raged for days over blood and bone to close that gap and unite the defensive line. Let's return to the testing area. It's frustratingly quiet here, unlike all that chaos outside, inside my mind. The monster space's skeleton is fully in place. An immense mental power swells like ocean waves. This core didn't just help me set up the place. It also took my mental strength to another level. Leora's empowerment is almost complete. Skylar's terrible wounds have already healed, thanks to the Fountain of Life. Yuna's Phoenix went crazy after drinking that epic potion. Promoted to legendary 2 stars, growing even more powerful. And Yuna is thinking impatiently about when Ethan will wake up. Because I've been snoring for 9 days straight. Yuna looks away with a cold stare without answering and pets the bird in her lap. That's exactly when the air begins to tremble. My mental power explodes like a volcano and spreads around. It's sweeping through like a storm. When Yuna feels this insane energy, those dull blue eyes widen in shock. Transcendent level of mental power. On paper, I'm still a level 6 rookie, but inside my head, I'm already a monster. I'll go head to head with a high-level monster master of true love. I'm only one skill away from reaching that rank. Yuna hugs her bird tighter out of fear. Eyes fixed on me. But the vision I see in my mind right now is entirely different. That pure white monster space is taking its final form under my mental power. Only that last fatal step remains. To fully merge my mind with this space. Unite! I command, pouring my entire being inside without hesitation. Instantly, your mind crosses a threshold. I'm entering that mystical, divine dimension that no one has ever tasted before. Even with my eyes closed, I feel everything in every cell of my body, even every touch of the girl's fingers on those bird feathers. As Skylar's fists tremble with tension, Leora's skill update is finally completing inside that cracked golden cocoon. My eyes suddenly lock onto Leora's spot, as the cracks in the cocoon tear wide open, spewing scarlet hellfire from the gaps. A second later, that golden cocoon explodes into dust and smoke. In the midst of that wild firestorm, holy wings unfold in glory with a sound like thunder. Look at that holy silhouette floating in the air. Thanks to the 2-star talent boost, Leora's stats have already surpassed the 200 mark. Now that he's finally facing the exam golem again, he won't even need special forms. Just the stat multiplier from Seraph mode can turn that heap of stone into a grain of sand. As Leora adjusts to her new body, her golden eyes find me instantly. Master! She shouts, and before I can even realize what's happening, she dives into my arms, warm and soft. Master, I missed you so much. That sweet voice echoes in my ears like pure joy, literally melting my frozen heart. I reach out and gently stroke the girl's silky hair. I worked hard. I say, and with a single thought, I transfer Leora back to monster space. Now that he has his own place, he doesn't need to hang out in the real world all the time. Getting the little ones settled in their own space gives me peace of mind. With a guilty expression, I finally walk toward Yuna and Skylar. Sorry to keep you waiting. Yuna's ice-cold voice answers back. No problem. She says it was a test for all three of us anyway. Hearing this, Skylar turns her head so fast that her jaw drops. Even an ostrich egg could fit in there. Is this really the Ice Queen who ignores everyone? Did he answer of his own free will? Feeling those burning glares from beside her, Yuna frowns slightly. Is there a problem? They ask. Skylar waves her hands like crazy. No, what's the problem? Crying out. Poor thing is so excited he's about to bite his tongue. I just thought we should go. It's been 9 days, after all. He mumbled. That's the moment I take a step and freeze. My head suddenly snaps towards Skylar. My eyes are wide open. How long did you say it's been? 9 days. Skylar says, startled by my sudden reaction. Brother, what's wrong with me? My heart literally drops as I quickly do the math. Commander Vey had spent half a day getting me here. When you add these 9 days on top of it. No way. Today is the day of the school-level exam. Now that I realize this, I can't stay still anymore. Looking at Yuna and Skylar, who look like they're in no rush, don't you two have an exam to take? I'm asking. Yuna and Skylar look at each other and finally realize which exam I'm talking about. Then both of them shake their heads quite casually. We have direct acceptance. They say. I'm speechless. Of course. Life is good for some of us. I have to crawl through that hell called Gaokao. But these two are just strolling right through. Time is running out. I bolt out of the testing area without saying another word. After a blinding white flash, the three of us appear outside the testing area. Thank God you're finally out. The officer waiting for us runs over with a worried look on his face. Not a sound for 9 whole days. The commander was about to send men inside to rescue you. But I'm in no mood to listen to anyone right now. I need to get into the university and access the resources. We need this for Leora to get even stronger. Please send me to Linyuan City immediately. The school exam is about to start. The officer's face changes colors as he hears this. What? Then he snaps out of it and switches back to military mode. Don't worry, kid. We'll get you to Linyuan City at top speed. As we set off, at the second exam square in Linyuan City, 200 students are lined up and waiting. Today is the first round of the Longshan Nation's Gaokao Marathon. Only the top 50 will qualify for the next round. Attention all candidates. The exam will start shortly. Please come to the stage for the written test according to the draw order. This exam consists of 2 rounds, and the top 50 students will be selected. Those who advance will enter the later matchups. Your final score will form a vital basis for your general Gaokao evaluation. Please take the job seriously and do your very best. As the officials finish reading those boring rules, student names from the crowd start scrolling rapidly across the giant screen. Roxy Chen grips her school uniform collar tight, eyes darting between the screen and the entrance behind her. There's an empty space where the desk should be, sticking out like a sore thumb. Class president, why is Ethan still not here? They're not going to miss the exam, are they? With that power, taking first place is in the bag. If he's disqualified for being late, we're finished. President, can't you reach him? Tell him to hurry. Everyone talking are classmates whose lives I saved during the rookie trial. Hearing these sounds, Roxy's face is just as gloomy as theirs. Guys, don't panic. I have full confidence that Ida will arrive on time. Try to save as much time as possible during the matches. They look at each other helplessly and nod in resignation. But the problem is, D-rank beast master battles are usually over in the blink of an eye. When 2 beasts clash in the arena, a winner is usually decided in less than 30 seconds. Though Roxy and her team try to stall, the match list on the big screen keeps scrolling with ruthless speed. And there it is, that text appearing. Itingua vs. Mike Wenga. Seeing the names, Mike Wing turns pale as a ghost in the middle of the arena. Even if Linyuan City is buzzing with rumors that I bought my class for evaluation, remember that even a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. He's just an awakened level 3 monster master. Where does he get the nerve to defy me? Student Ethan Gua, please come to the stage. Uncle Hakum's laugh echoes through the square, but it's no use. Time is ticking away, and the other side of the arena is completely deserted. The referee looks at the watch, gets all worked up, and raises his voice. Is Student Ethan Gua here? If they're not on the field, they'll lose by forfeit. But alas, not a sound from the crowd. You could hear a pin drop. The referee frowns, scanning the area with eagle eyes, but it's no use. Our ghost student Ethan Gua is nowhere to be found. The guy has literally turned into steam. I declare it. Just as Roxy was about to raise the flag of protest, wait. A mocking voice cuts in like a knife. Dylan Chen and his famous seductive succubus are gliding in like runway models. Ref, how about we save this match for the final? After all, we're all looking forward to a show from this vocal trio, right? For the past 10 days, this guy has been camping out in the Dimension Rift. He worked day and night to max out his succubus's level. Everything is for that big day, just to crush that guy who stole the spotlight. But now the main point is missing. Can my heart handle this? Never. Beads of sweat are pouring down the referee's forehead. The rules are clear, show up late, and you're disqualified. No ifs, ands, or buts. But Dylan adds with a very relaxed attitude, don't worry, I'll explain the situation to Vice Rector Carter myself. The referee breathes a sigh of relief when he hears the Vice Rector's name. Alright then, the match is postponed. The showdown between Ethan Gu and Mike Van was left for the very end. The moment the referee's announcement is heard, all hell breaks loose. Didn't Ethan Gu come? What on earth is going on? Didn't this kid get a quad evaluation? Maybe he wet his pants because he's scared of failing the exam. Don't you know? This guy Ethan spent a full 20 million just to take first place in the rookie trial. Plus, his contracted monster is a trash angel. He was terrified his true colors would show. That's why he didn't dare show up for the exam. The rumors are spreading like a toxic mist throughout the area. Roxy clenches her fists in anger. His knuckles have turned bone white. Her nails dig into her palms. It's almost going to bleed. And the next match is Dylan Chen versus Leo Lee. The stage is yours, gentlemen. With the referee's whistle, Dylan takes the stage with Lilith as if they're enjoying themselves. His opponent Leo Linen's face is pale as a ghost. Even though his awakened Tier 4 power puts him among the top graduates, right now, he's shaking like a lamb at the slaughterhouse. Dylan says Leo's voice was trembling. Please have mercy on me. A cruel smirk appears on Dyla's lips. Stroking Lilith's chin with delight, the creature's crimson tongue slowly glides over its sharp teeth. It's a spooky sight. Armored turtle, water wave. Leo grits his teeth and gives the order. The water jet shoots out, but it freezes strangely just a meter away from Lilith. Lilith raises her elegant hand lethargically, as if shooing away a fly. The water column hits an invisible wall, shatters, and scatters everywhere. A purple light shines in Lilith's eyes, a demonic glow. A visible mental wave spreads outward. The armored turtle collapses like jelly before it can even scream, like someone pulled the plug. Leo staggers as if struck by lightning, passing out as blood streams from his nose and mouth. Waves of shock rise from the crowd. Screams after screams. Whoa! A fourth stage awakened beast got packed up in one hit by Dylan's creature? What level has this man reached? Or has he moved on to the sixth stage? Dylan's ice-cold gaze scans the crowd, looking for the person he wants to see most, but he can't find me anywhere. Did he really run away with his tail between his legs? If that's the case, all this preparation was for nothing. The next games are a total fiasco, they're all boring. And finally, the competition reaches its final showdown. Next up, Ethan Gu and Mike Wong. The referee's voice silences the whole place. A deadly silence descends. But with me still nowhere in sight, Dylan's smile fades more and more by the second. This time, he won't give me another chance. Ethan Gu. But before the referee could finish his sentence, that massive golden hue splitting the sky,